Who is this Jesus? I hear all the reports about him. Herod was puzzled and perplexed about Jesus. And he was very curious to see Jesus. Curiosity. And as you may remember, Herod gets to see Jesus later. When? After his arrest, Pilate sent Jesus to Herod. The time he got to see Jesus. But it was a different circumstance. He was all bound like a criminal. And Herod makes fun of Jesus. And Jesus doesn't say a word to Herod. The Lord is humiliated and sent back to Pilate again. Now look at the people who were curious about Jesus in the Gospels. You can learn a lot from them. And then compare that with Herod. The first one who was curious was Nicodemus. He comes in the night to see Jesus to find out what kind of rabbi or teacher. He can do miracles. He speaks things which are not of this world. Curiosity led Nicodemus to Jesus. But that curiosity was eventually a blessing, because at the end of the Gospel of St. John, we find Nicodemus a new person. He was born again. Curiosity led to deep faith. Or Zacchaeus, the one who wanted to see Jesus. All those three, those Greek people who came to see Jesus, they all met the Lord, and I suppose they all went back home enjoying the company of Jesus and the wisdom of Jesus, and went home blessed and happier than before. My dear friends, the question that Herod asked himself is a good question. Who is Jesus? The difficulty for you and me is this. Herod was curious, Nicodemus was curious, they're all curious to know who Jesus is. In our case, the danger is we can be indifferent. Danger. We can be totally indifferent because we are born into the faith, baptized in the faith, and daily mass, we have this and that. We are so used to the routine and the practice, we have no enthusiasm. I'm talking to myself. Don't worry about you. Indifference. Because we are so used to it. The daily gospel, the readings, and maybe the reflection, the same thing again, like in the first reading, all repetitive, all cyclic, all round and round, and the same thing again. We have lost the interest, indifference, danger. We will never grow in our faith if we are indifferent to the Lord. On the other hand, if you are like a Nicodemus, even Herod, maybe Herod was really troubled by his conscience. He was not a man of peace. After killing John the Baptist for his own self-interest, he was a people pleaser. Then naturally he must have been troubled in his conscience. So when he heard about Jesus, maybe John the Baptist has gone back to this man. He is the John Baptist. I'm being troubled. There's one more message too. everybody is hardwired for God. Everybody is hardwired for God. Whether it is Herod or Richard Dawkins or anybody, don't write them off. They are not living in peace. So have some sympathy for atheists, those who now have no faith in God, or those who challenge their faith in God. Have some sympathy for them. Don't condemn them, because they are troubled deep inside. They are troubled deep inside. They are worried, and they always know, maybe there is God. They are deeply troubled, so have some sympathy and pray for them. Instead of condemning them, always pray for them. I remember years ago when I was having my haircut in Wrexham at the barbers, I could hear on the radio of 3 or 2, Jeremy Vine asking Richard Dawkins, you don't believe in God, we all know that. But once in a while, when you go to bed in the night, don't you have that question troubling you? Perhaps there could be God. He said yes. He said yes. You can't get out of that, because the one who made you in his own image is deep inside you, so you can't get rid of him. On the other hand, like Herod asked that question, who is Jesus? Every time you come to Mass, ask the question, who is this Jesus? Every time you listen to the Gospel, ask the question, who is this Jesus? That question is very, very important. Unless you have that question, you will never learn about Jesus. If you have no questions about Jesus, it's a very sad state of affairs. If you have no question about, if you are just indifferent, no question, no quest, no fire, it's a very sad state of spiritual affairs. On the other hand, every morning the question, who is Jesus? I'm going to church once again to find out who he is.